video presented by the new movie Laser Team. Get tickets now at laserteamthemovie.com. Stay tuned for more info after this video.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Rooster Teeth podcast, brought to you by... Welcome back, Mr. World Traveler. I feel like you've been all over the place. You've been on a Twitter tear lately.
Have I?
I think so.
With what?
I don't know, just like your different travels.
You're not going to say who's on the podcast?
Oh, Gus. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Brandon.
Blaine.
I'm Gus.
See how quick that was?
Yeah.
Got down to a system.
I think maybe, though, I'm just thinking of when you went down to Australia before, because you post a lot of stuff from like Sydney and whatnot.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just something that's stuck in my head.
I figured to take advantage of it. I got to go on a fucking helicopter ride, which was cool.
Wait, where were you?
In Australia.
Just now?
No. I was in San Francisco.
We usually try to make like whole social media events out of trips. Like I remember when we went to Disney, you did the propose to Disney princesses.
Yeah, I try to make it. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're only going there every now and then, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just like taking people along for a ride. It's nice. I like to share that experience with people, I guess.
You're so generous.
Yeah, I just want people to be there with me, experiencing it.
Thanks, Blaine.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Actually, it pisses me off, though, because while I was in San Francisco, I got a bunch of tweets, and they're like, I think I just saw you. I didn't want to say hi. It's like, fucking say hi. Like,
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing when people come up and they're like, hey,
Yeah, it bothers me. Like, lots of times when people do come up and say hi, they'll be really apologetic. It's like, hey, I'm sorry. I know you don't like it when people say hi to you in public. Like, no. It's great.
I'm nerding out.
I would prefer that you say something.
Yeah.
You come up and say hi. Like, I don't want to be like, is that person looking at me? Are they not? Like, I don't want to get like in my own head about it.
Yeah. It's nice. It makes your day better.
Yeah, if you see up,
Totally.
see me
Unless I'm
walking
like
out, come on,
in
say hi.
line at a pharmacy picking up
Herpes
trees or something, then yeah. it's
If
fine.
I have
Or
like a sandwich or a hamburger in my hand and I'm like taking a bite of it, like don't come up then. Like when I'm like
Or proposing, like something very personal.
proposing. I've been married for a while, dude. You know that.
I've like coordinated a meetup with a person where they'll tweet me and I'll be in line at like Home Slice and they'll be like, oh, I just saw you on South Congress, and I'll be like, oh, where are you? And then like I'll go, and like there was this one time it was like a half-hour thing where I went with my pizza and milkshake to meet up with somebody just to say hi to him. So it's like it's fun meeting.
Did you have a girl with you?
No, not at that time. No,
Oh, okay.
I have a Sunday tradition where I go to South Congress. I go to Home Slice, order my pizza, run down Amy's ice cream while I'm waiting for my pizza to be made. Run back to Home Slice, leave, have a fat day.
Sounds like the daily routines of like a 16-year-old boy.
I also read comic books when I get home. It's really nice.
Play video games.
I've never seen those glasses in my life. What are they about?
They're new glasses. Do you want to try them on?
Are they,
Why
I mean,
wear them?
wait, before I insult them, did they sponsor this podcast or anything?
No, it's
No.
not underwear. It's not a website.
I'm
It's
not
not
gonna
an
say
audiobook,
who
so
they're
you're
from.
clear.
Are these?
They're real.
Are these unisex?
They look like,
They look like women's glasses.
milk bottles.
What made you decide to start wearing glasses?
So I just changed out my contacts because I slept with them in the other night, so they're super dry. So I just wanted to put glasses
I always
on.
feel bad when I'm trying on someone's glasses because obviously it's going to make my vision worse. But Jesus Christ.
It is challenging.
I'm Blaine. I'm going to throw up because this is really
I
nauseating.
can't see what you're doing. Like my vision's
Wow,
that bad.
That is really bad.
Is negative 7.5? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Is that what they are?
Sure, that's a number.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I have really bad vision, so I'm used to like looking through really fucked up glasses. But man, that's a whole other level.
Yeah, it's really bad. How's everybody's New Year's?
I can't wear contacts. I
sorry.
used to wear contacts all the
I
time.
can't.
But then I like developed this weird eye problem where if I wear contacts, like if I put contacts in, after about 15 minutes, the whites of my eyes just turn blood red.
Ew.
Like there is no white left in my eye. It's just I have a red eyes.
How many times have you attempted it? To wear contacts?
A couple of times. So I used to wear them, all the time for years. And then just like over time, it just started happening.
Did you wear them because of the same reason I did? Because you're in football. That's why I did it, and I was back up.
I did it because it was back when I lived in Puerto Rico. It's because I hated going swimming and not being able to see. Like to me, that's the worst. Like having to take my glasses off and go swimming. So I did the worst thing possible. I would wear my contacts and just open my eyes under salt water and whatever, like not give a fuck.
I was gonna say the counter to that is like you couldn't open your eyes under water anymore whenever you wore your glasses or your contacts.
Nope, I totally did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I fucked up my eyes.
Would you ever be interested in getting like those like super crazy contacts, like colors, like 8 balls
Hell no.
or skulls?
No.
No?
I hate that stuff.
Why don't you get LASIK? Is it because your face would look different?
I don't trust LASIK. I still think we're
Really?
too early in the technology. It's like, I don't want laser shooting at my eyes, and then in 15 years they're like, oh yeah, that gives you ball cancer too.
Yeah, but what if it gives you like laser eyes?
Just like
Like
Superman.
shooting lasers out of your eyes.
That's not going to happen.
I don't know either, Gavin. Gavin and I just exchanged a quizzical look. That's impossible. It's not a fucking comic book, dude. It's lasers fixing your
yeah,
eyes.
I guess your scenario is actually like possible.
Right.
So
Laser-
there's legitimately something.
Laser's just a different kind of light, right?
It's a very focused kind of light, I believe.
You've always got stuff bouncing around in your eye holes, and it's not gonna.
Yeah, but they're not like, clockwork oranging your eyes open and fucking cutting your eye with light.
Chris is like a huge defender of LASIK, and he was like, yeah, it's the best thing. I don't have to wear contacts anymore and stuff like that. How long did he use like those little the eye drops? Like he had eye drops for like months. And he seemed miserable for like at least a month because of his LASIK eyes.
post- LASIK drops?
I was okay after like an hour and like go to sleep, and then the next day it was perfectly fine. He was really messed up for a long time.
And
I was a
then
little worried.
He became addicted to the eye drops, and you would find these eye drop things like everywhere in the office and in my car. And then
It's like
like
Hansel and Gretel. Just like
he's
following
leaving a trail. And then at one point he even got eye drops that were like normally it's like liquid, it's like water. He got these ones that were like milk. And it looked like he was like coming out of his eyes. It was really fucking gross.
Did I tell you about
I'm
what
into
happened? Did I tell you what happened
That's my fetish.
when I had LASIK? They were like super nice and cool, but when I actually had the procedure and the doctor was there, they spent the entire time talking about office gossip. Like really, really juvenile office gossip. Nobody was telling me what was going on. And they didn't tell me beforehand that I would go blind as they like sucked my eyeball.
They sucked your eye? I thought they just shoot laser in it. They
Well, I
suck
think
it?
like they used to like use a like blade and cut your eye.
God.
But now they're able to open up that protective layer on your eye with like a suction cup. Ooh. It's obviously it's more sophisticated, but I think it's the same thing. It uses air pressure to open up that area, and then they use the laser. And then have you seen 2001 Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, the ending?
The ending.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's like a
40 minutes
laser, a
long.
shitty laser show.
Super low
I love 2001. I love that movie, but it's a movie I cannot show anyone.
Why not?
Why?
Because I feel like it starts so slow.
I can
It's
see that.
three
And it-
movies.
Yeah, and it's like it just takes a long time to get to the meat of the movie. It's like if you show someone and be like, hey, watch this movie I love. The first hour and a half is really slow, but by
Yeah.
the second hour, it's really great.
So you're just sitting there and just kind of keep glancing over them, hoping they enjoy it.
there's-
And it just keeps getting awkward and awkward and awkward.
There's like no dialogue for the first 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's just chimps chucking stuff around, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I just want the space bit.
And then even once they get to the space bit, it's like forever just showing the spacecraft and
That rotating set is awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
it
That's
holds
so
up.
cool.
Well, people-
like that movie holds up. But yeah, I think they basically built a giant, almost Ferris wheel, right?
Yeah,
Like a
and you can,
giant
like-
wheel that the guy would, or I guess a
flight attendant, I think.
hamster. A hamster wheel is probably
yeah.
a better.
They when that movie was filmed, it predated monitors and computer displays.
That's crazy.
But they had monitors and computer displays in the movie as like a way to interact with the
think-
computers.
Well, that's
Yeah.
just a TV, though, isn't it?
Right, but that's not the way you interacted with a computer. There was no display for computers at the time.
What
it was
did you
all
have to do? Like mail it
punch,
something?
Yeah, you would mail it. Punch like
cards?
punch cards.
They
and
had
stuff
like
that.
video conference calls or whatever
Yeah.
because he's talking to his daughter. I think they had Velcro before Velcro was a thing too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the woman has Velcro shoes when
Oh,
she's
right, yeah,
walking
yeah.
around the spaceship.
I feel
Flight
like
attendant.
a lot of the early inventions you could just invent because everyone wanted it and it was so obvious. Like we should have video phone.
Oh,
but like
I
I
thought you
feel
were gonna
like
say like wheel. No, like
but like
this is a great thing.
I feel like thousands of people would have invented video phone like individually on their own. They'd be like, we need this. But
Right.
now,
They would come up with the idea, but they wouldn't be able to implement it.
right.
Right.
But now people are inventing cups that tell you to drink water.
Yeah.
It's like we're really just clutching at crap at this point.
I think I saw. So CES is about to start. So like here comes the whole new wave of like bullshit stuff that Bernie's gonna love, and it's gonna all be shit.
Curved
Like a brain
TVs.
triangle.
Right, but I saw today there was I forget what it was called. I should have researched this, but there was a new device that scans your food to tell you how much sugar is in it. And
That's
it's,
cool.
Well, it's aimed for like diabetics and for people who need to monitor their sugar intake. It's like a little device that you like put on your food or take a picture of your food. I don't remember how it works. I had to really look into it, and then it just tells you how much sugar you're ingesting by eating that.
It's cool.
Which seems like that's useful.
legit.
Yeah, if you need to keep an eye on that.
And it's at CES, so it'll be out in 20 years.
Yeah, and I think like some company, I think it might have been LG, was talking about how they're showing like an 18-inch foldable, rollable OLED display. It's like, cool. How many years are we going to see that, before they'll finally fucking sell it?
So what's the next logical big invention? I think it's holograms, right? It's got to be holograms.
What's the use? Why do you need a hologram?
It's fucking cool. Can you imagine?
Then that's not a need.
It's so cool though.
Well, imagine
Star
if
Wars.
instead of video calls, it's like Star Wars. You see like a 3D representation of someone and you talk to them.
And everyone
Phone
looks
sex.
like the Emperor.
Phone sex would be way better too. Because it'd be
You still wouldn't feel it though. You can't put your knob in a hologram. You could put it through a hologram.
Maybe they'll make that someday. They already have a machine. that
They
can
use
kiss
force
people
fields with it. I mean, that's how the we gotta do some more. That's how in Star Trek how the
with. Fuck Star Trek.
Hey, calm down.
come on.
Sorry.
It's
What?
like, but then you get too excited and you jizz on a hologram. You're like, oh shit, now I gotta clean that up. It's like all over your floor.
I
No,
feel
just
like
beam it out.
I feel like shit stats is becoming closer to reality.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually that's going to be common.
We invented that.
We invented it on this podcast. It's the toilet seat that weighs you, and
Before and after?
Well, it just weighs you during.
Why would you
it
want
can
that?
tell,
Oh.
You can tell it gives you shit stats.
So I saw.
And it tracks your speed.
Yeah,
and-
over time, say you take 20 years, it's like your biggest shit was in December of 2078.
and then your
Achievement
cumulative weight
unlocked.
of shit.
yeah,
And
and like most shit in a small period of time.
I saw someone, obviously
these
this is our
stats?
first podcast of 2016.
Yeah.
At the end of 2015, I saw some guy on Reddit post that for all of 2015, he kept notes on every time he took a dump. And at the end of the year, he knew how many dumps he had taken in 2015.
How many dumps was it?
It was 400. I was like, that seems like a lot of dumps.
That's more than one a day.
Yeah.
That
on
seems about
average.
on par. I'd be up there. 600, 700 probably.
What?
Yeah, 2 shits a day sometimes.
How do you have
You
time
should
to
go
do
to
it?
the
I have a
doctor.
lot of calories that I got to intake, so
Ugh.
So
It's
just
just inconvenient.
That means that most of your food is completely useless to your body. It just has to go all the way through and then back out.
not
So
even-
you're always covered in feces.
Whoa.
at any given moment.
Is
Not
there a
covered.
food?
Well, you got it on there.
Is there a food that is 100% useful to your body? Like you eat it and nothing comes out.
What? Never mind. I was gonna
Celery?
say water. That would make sense.
No, celery's all water.
Yeah.
I think you.
Oh, what was this question?
What is there any food that's 100% absorbable that there is no waste created from?
I don't think that's a thing.
That's the future. People are going to invent pills that fully
Well, that's
they
kind
give
of
your
like
body nutrients,
gotta
and
get-
then the anus will disappear over time.
well, that's kind of like
We'll be all Barbie and Ken.
well, it's kind of like The Martian. Did you ever see the movie or read the book?
Yeah.
And he talks about how he can take all the vitamins. He's got all the vitamins he needs. Then eating food just becomes about taking in calories to maintain his body.
Right.
Yeah, that's a chore. That's the thing. You need not pills so you don't have to. Crap, you need pills you just don't have to eat. I just take a pill and I'm fine. It's the idea of going and getting food and chewing it.
Honestly,
that,
yeah,
to me,
like,
that is exhausting.
They say some people live to eat and some people eat to live, and I pretty much just eat so I don't die. Like
Yeah.
it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I haven't eaten in 8 hours.
So,
Shove something in. I don't care what it is. Just shove it down.
Brandon, this isn't a podcast. This is actually an intervention for you. You don't leave the office to eat anymore, and it concerns me because you got to get
Yeah.
out. You're in a windowless office, and it scares me. You just
What do you eat then? What does he eat?
Yeah,
You don't
well,
answer.
fuck.
You answer.
I'm sorry. I didn't get you anything today. I was supposed to get you lunch while I was out.
You weren't supposed to.
Well, I mean, you
I'd
asked
ask.
me.
You're concerned about him not eating. You didn't
it
bring
was
him
your
fucking
food.
He's like my gerbil, and I just let him die.
You had a big
He's
thing
been
of
eating
branded food.
When he
You,
found out
pour
about
it in.
the 100% food shit, he was all over that. He's like, yeah, because I don't have to chew anymore. I can just drink. And I was like,
Yeah, but
that's
everyone
It's
who
not
does
just the
that-
chewing. It's like going out, ordering, coming back.
It
It's
takes a lot of time. You blow a lot of time on lunch every day.
Yeah.
If you
But
go
But
out for
it's a
lunch.
adds
mental
up.
health break. It's you need that
I guess so.
30 minutes.
But everyone who does that dumb space food, they're all saying, "Oh, it's terrible. It tastes crap. I just put bananas in it." At that point,
Defeats the
just eat a
purpose.
banana. Though.
I'm trying to get through these as quickly as I can. I'm getting off of it.
Yeah, it sucks.
No, it doesn't suck. It's just I think there's a lot of sugar in it for one. But it's also, it's
that
it's
just
nice
to
to
make
leave
it-
the office and get some food. I'll have it for on set. So it's I'm on a shoot day, craft services is serving shit, and I just need to get a meal in me. Then I'll take this for sure. But if it's lunch at the office, and it's I'll go to Chipotle.
That is the worst. That is my least favorite thing about going to shoots. Talk about ultimate first world problem here, by the way, is all of the junk food on a set. And it's just oh, I'm not on camera right now. I'm going to see how much of this I can eat. And it's just cookies and granola bars and tacos. And
Every shoot that I've directed
Sometimes
in the past,
milkshakes.
4 months, I've finished like 2 sleeves of Ritz crackers. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh god, it's in my
as
body.
I'm eating it, I'm like, why am I eating this? Like, I'm not even hungry. And it's just like, it's just there,
it's
and
there.
I'm just going to eat.
And shoots that we're both on, I always make you get a large mocha frappuccino from Starbucks.
It's true.
Because those things are delicious.
Like the intern or a PA will come up and they'll be like, anybody want Starbucks? And you'll be like, I want a mocha frappuccino. And then you look at me and be like, oh, damn, should I? Yeah, it is like, all right, well, Gavin said so. It's true.
Yeah, I like to be a bad influence.
It's good. Mocha frappuccinos are good. I looked the other day, it's like 520 calories. I sound like a bitch counting calories, but like that's a lot. That's like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of calories. It's so
like,
good.
it's
Though.
over
For a drink, it's
four
a lot.
sodas.
Yeah.
And all sugar.
Your teeth are just rotting on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always worried. So like, I always have this recurring. Well, not always, but every now and then I'll have this recurring nightmare, maybe like twice a year, where in my dream I'm like eating something or talking to someone, and I feel like a piece of a tooth chip off, and I'm like, oh, what is that? And then as I'm talking or as I'm doing whatever, like slowly all of my teeth start to shatter. And then I can feel it in my mouth, and I'm embarrassed and trying to hide it. And this last time I had the dream, I could feel like the nerve endings also, like coming out of the roots. And it's like, I could feel like my mouth. And then in my dream, I start like trying to discreetly spit it out. And it's just like a mess of like broken teeth and like nerves and and blood and this pink goo.
What do nerves look like?
It's just, it looked almost like pink spaghetti.
Is that actually what a nerve
I don't
looks
know.
like?
That's in my dream. That's what it looked like.
Did you ever watch Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah.
This is that episode where I
stinky
think they
gum holes.
pulled out like Ren's tooth or whatever, and then like it's bloody, and then there's this giant stem is left in its place, and it's like one of the most excruciating things to watch in a cartoon ever.
Ren and Stimpy had some pretty crazy. You have some weird wet dreams.
No, that's a common dream. People teeth thing.
I hate that dream, and I have it every now and then. I think it's like stress related or something.
I always have a recurring dream where small stuff is massive. Did you ever have that?
Small
No, what does
stuff
that
is
mean?
massive.
So, like-
you're Ant-Man?
Wait. Okay, let's try to figure this out.
Yeah.
Gavin has recurring dreams where small stuff is
So
massive.
his penis is just like,
I'm gonna imagine that it's like he's going about his day-to-day life, and then just like one thing, like a grape, is all of a sudden the size of a house and huge, and he has to deal with it because it's his grape.
Yeah, I just imagine like a Coke bottle that's like half his size and like trying to open it and like lift it up.
Oh, that's a good
what I'm
one.
guessing.
yeah.
It's basically stuff stuff that's small to me, like this. This would look like this, and then all
Gavin
of a
is
sudden,
pointing to a Coke bottle.
yeah, this like
A
can of beer.
Thank
But
you.
then all of a sudden, I'd be like microscopic in comparison to it. And
So it's
it all
you're
gets
small,
like,
not that stuff is big.
but it's just normal size stuff, and like I'm getting I'm just really tiny, but next to like really small, massive stuff, and it's like making me like sink down into the floor,
Okay,
and
so-
it's like really trippy.
So the dream is that you are shrinking.
Or small stuff is big.
So
How do I know if the room isn't getting bigger?
Is everything big? Then it's you who's small. That's the opposite. I was trying to clarify.
What's the strangest thing that's like gotten big or you've gotten small next to? Have you ever had like, oh man, what if you're having like a sex dream, and then you suddenly just like, and you're just like tiny.
I don't think I've had a
sucks me in.
sex. I don't think I've had a sex dream in my life. Like, not that anything I can remember.
Wait,
You've never had a sex
I
dream?
barely remember any dreams at all. If I remember a dream in a month,
I think that
one a
means
month,
you don't sleep enough per night.
It's possible.
How much? So when you sleep, how long do you sleep in a typical night?
Like 6 hours.
I knew he was gonna say something low.
What about you, Blaine?
I try to get about 8. I can go off like for 4 days. I can get like 6, and I'll be functional. But like at some point, I need to catch up like over the weekend.
What about you, Gavin?
7 or 8.
7 probably.
I think typically during the week I'll get like 7. Then on the
I'm
weekends I'll try
usually-
to get a little more.
I'm usually down by 1, up by 8.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Those glasses.
What's wrong with my glasses?
It's just the glass in them is like
So
made
where's-
absurd by these frames.
Yeah, if you can, I'm looking at camera. It like warps.
Yeah, like if you turn
Everything.
your head more profile on, stop looking at the monitor and just turn your head. Yeah, there you go. Oh,
Did you
far.
buy
Back a
those?
little more.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Did
bought
you
these.
yourself?
Yeah, you can see it,
What,
like,
what
distorts
about
the
the
side of his head.
pattern like attracted you to those?
Oh, like a
it's like
turtle shell?
It's like a leopard.
Turtle shell. Tortoise shell.
Yeah, tortoiseshell. I don't know. I thought they looked kind of cool. I was gonna get these. I really wanted to get some big square child molester glasses, but
Do they come with a child when you buy them?
No, unfortunately, you have to go find those on your own next to a playground or whatever. But no, like my prescription is so bad that it's at some point the frames I can't be bigger than a certain size because it goes out like it bevels out so much.
They're like, sir, we need NASA to go to Mars to invent the technology.
No, for real. Like I've been to so many like all these glasses places, and they've been like, we can't physically make these glasses. Your prescription's so bad. And I'm like, oh, okay.
So is that going to get worse over time as you age?
Yeah, I think so. I think eventually I might get LASIK, and then who knows? I might continue wearing glasses after I get LASIK and. Act like I still need them.
That's another reason I don't get LASIK is that with glasses, my vision corrects to better than 20/20. So it's like, why would I want to?
But what's the point of 20/20 if there's better than 20/20?
Right.
I had better than
I'm
20/20 after
already
LASIK.
better than you guys.
Wait, no, I had better than 20/20 after LASIK. I don't know if it's still like that, but
But
is that a thing?
Isn't 20/20 maximum?
No, 20/20 is ideal.
What's maximum?
I don't know.
What's like the best vision ever?
Is it 2021 or something?
I
21?
thought it was like 2015 or something.
How do you?
So last year.
Okay.
There you go.
Jesus.
Here, let me read this.
You read that.
I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is brought to you by. So I guess on Saturday, George R. R. Martin announced that he missed his deadline for the the next book in Game of Thrones, in the Game of Thrones series, Song of Ice and Fire, and people were surprisingly positive. And
Well, even though the show is now going to go past the books.
right, the book will not come out before
What's the
the
new
new
book?
season
But
of
there's
the
a
show.
huge
Winds of Winter.
There's a huge reveal, right? That is going to happen in the first episode. Like, you've seen the poster of the new season of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but it's ambiguous. You don't know.
Yeah, but they have to touch on it somehow, and it's not
Yeah.
even it's not addressed in the latest book.
People
Like,
asked him if the new season of the TV show would spoil the books, and he said yes and no. And I honestly, at this point, they've diverged so much. I almost look at them as two different entities.
I thought they were pulling
Yeah.
The Walking Dead, where they're just like,
well, but there's a thing of
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
what the hell happened to that guy?
Yeah, there's
like
a-
that's the thing, and it's
Yeah, there's still, I think it's not as bad as Walking Dead. There's still a lot more book centered and book related in the TV show, but I mean, there's some things that are just radically different, characters that don't exist. So,
I'm
not
caught up.
worried.
I never read the books, but I'm all caught up on the show. On my trip to Australia, I actually got to Qantas. They actually showed Game of Thrones, so I watched the entire 5th season on the way there.
First class?
Rooster Teeth, bro. What are you talking about? No, but is the book completely caught up to the show, or vice versa? at this
right
point?
now,
in certain parts.
yeah. So,
Oh,
this most-
because the kid with
Bran,
Hodor he's off fucking around somewhere.
he's coming back in this season.
Okay.
Season
Who-
two.
Whoa.
His
Oh, boy.
storyline finished in the previous season.
Isn't he like 28 now?
He's pretty old. He's like 6
6
feet
feet
tall. Yeah. So the most
rough.
recent season of the TV show caught up to and past the books a little bit in some areas,
Okay.
and then now it's just like that's it. I mean, everything's going to be brand new, not touched in the book at this point.
Bran new.
Haha. They released a promo image of him, I guess, for one of the scenes that he had filmed for the upcoming season, and he grew the fuck up. He's like 6 feet tall, like you said.
Even
Yeah.
in the last one that he was in, the last
He's
season,
bigger than
still,
Hodor.
He's gonna start carrying Hodor around.
Wait, so I mean, there's obviously the fate of a certain character is kind of ambiguous at the moment. They're using the shit out of that in promotional images and
That's
stuff
what I'm
like
saying.
that.
It's like
so
they
can we
have
talk
to deal
about
with
this?
No, don't mention Jon Snow at all.
All right.
Very good.
It's on the posters, right?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
the post. I mean, at this point, the show's been wrapped for a long time. Right?
Yeah, if you
The-
haven't
the
seen
most
it at
recent
this point, it's
season,
obviously not on your priority list.
I hear that okay, so
Wait, what?
hey, how's it going?
You fucking ass!
What did I do?
Edit that out of the final version.
No, that's not a thing. That won't be a thing.
No, just put a big old bleep.
Yeah,
and then you
bleep
look
it.
like a
Me.
mug.
Are you serious? We didn't even want to say.
I've gone 3 years without any spoilers,
damn
Blaine.
it, dude.
What was that?
I'm sorry. I'm so
I
sorry.
was like, there's only one thing Blaine could say that could potentially be a spoiler, and you fucking said it.
Is that like
Why?
the spoiler?
What was the thought process in your brain?
I don't-
You've
I-
seen the show.
I don't read the books, and I know that they're
But
diverging.
it hasn't happened in.
Okay, but I thought it was something that they abandoned because the person that I talked to about it, they said that it wasn't something they're.
Supposedly, they have abandoned that for the TV
My
show.
ears
but
are
we
bleeding.
don't know for certain.
Okay, it's not gonna.
You know,
happen.
I'm not even gonna enjoy sitting there watching and waiting for it to happen or not to happen. It's like every time. Oh,
I'm really red right now. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna change the subject. I have a legit concern. Do you ever worry that when you die,
I can't take you seriously.
why?
You're like, oh, go on.
Me being serious?
Yes.
Do you ever worry that when you die, you become a ghost that can't move from where you died?
Like
You just have to like sit there
Beetlejuice?
as a ghost, exactly where your body got annihilated, but you're just stuck there for eternity.
So
And then I was worrying about what if I'm in like an air disaster where 2 planes crash midair and I'm just stuck at 35,000 feet with like a bunch of people I don't like.
is it
Forever.
Okay.
Is it cold?
No, I'm a
You're a
ghost. I'm
ghost.
dead.
You don't care.
Oh, I mean, look, come on, ghost law.
or
Nah.
or you could be Elvis and you're haunting a shitter for all eternity.
Is that still there? That toilet where he died?
I'm sure it's in Graceland. Yeah. Why? Who would remove that toilet?
I'm sure it's on their tour. You
Oh,
can stop
mama.
by and see it.
Like, what would be the coolest place to be as a ghost?
The coolest place to be as a ghost.
I feel like underwater would be the
A
worst.
film porn
That's
set.
underwater's bad too.
Yeah.
film
Oh no,
set.
I don't want to see that.
That could be fun.
Doing what?
You're like you died during a porn shoot and you just haunt the porn place forever. You're watching porn. Ooh. I don't know.
You don't have a penis
You're
anymore.
the masturbating ghost.
Ooh,
spooky. Well, okay, how about this? A movie theater, because then you get to
You
always
just
you get to
watch
watch movies
movies.
for,
That's great.
for eternity.
Perfect
as long
place
as
to die.
as long as that theater still exists.
Unless you died with your eyes closed.
You come on, you know you're
so
adding too
you're
many
dying in a physical
stipulations.
state too that you were in or whatever.
No, you'd be in the same position, but maybe you can look around.
What if you died in a movie theater, but you were facing the wrong way? You're facing away from the screen. Just
Okay,
like,
okay.
God
It's
so
damn
annoying.
it.
You just hear every movie.
Guys, what's
So-
going on?
You'd be trying to watch it in like the reflection of the projection window.
You hope
It's like,
that Blaine
what?
sits down in front of you so you can see it in the reflection of his glasses.
Okay, so Gavin, now I'm interested to know what is your ideal afterlife? What if you when you die, what do you want to happen to you? Gavin Freeze conscience. Oh God, I put Gavin.
Wow.
I'd like to just do it again. Just be inside my own head again.
Okay, you wouldn't want to like live through another person's body or something, or
Nah.
I moved it away to cough.
okay.
So you're saying like you come back and you're just on the ride along in your
Well,
own
like,
body and just kind of
forget-
like,
You forget so much of your life
yeah.
that it'd be cool just to see it again. I wouldn't be able to control it. I'd just watch it again.
So
Could
okay,
you fast forward or would you be stuck?
Yeah, I
Like,
could skip around. I just have like
Okay.
life DVR basically. is
Okay.
what
that
I
would
want.
that would actually be really cool because then there's like old moments like from a long time ago. You're like, this is gonna have
Yeah.
relevance in the future.
Okay, here's my it wouldn't just be limited to my life. It would be everything from like 1,000 years ago to 2,000 years in the future, and I could DVR around and I could free cam and look at stuff.
So you're in Halo 3's.
Yeah, so I'd be like,
Theater mode.
all right, well, what happened with JFK? Like, what happened with all this other crap? And I would just,
What if, like, even with that DVR, you still couldn't figure it out? Wouldn't that be really frustrating?
it'd be so annoying.
No, you can watch the bullet
What if
trail.
like,
you can-
what if it's like bad security camera? It just like dropped a few frames and skipped over it. I'd be like, what happened?
Or it's like, your view is this a Bruder film?
yeah,
You're like, oh shit.
That'd be pretty cool.
I
yeah,
think,
that'd be good. I'd pick that.
So you're saying like a way, like for instance, if I wanted to see what this would look like in 10 billion years, I could see it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's amazing. When like the Earth or the sun consumes the Earth.
and you could watch yourself like banging people from different angles and stuff.
Like being on a porn set.
Yeah.
It's Blaine's dream come true.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this version of Gavin's Heaven. That's
I,
nice.
I feel like the DVR in my life though might be kind of depressing at times because I would just see myself watching renders on
Yeah,
the
you don't want
computer
that.
and be like, this is so much.
You had such a limited window of life.
Yeah.
And you
What?
chose to do this.
is what happened.
Watching Brandon's life as a ghost would be hell.
I think if you actually knew that you were gonna get that at the end of your life, you
Yeah.
would live your life very differently.
Yeah, you'd live it
You'd be like,
extreme.
you'd be living and you'd be like, I'm gonna hate watching this later. This sucks. I'm gonna go do something good.
Yeah, but DVR, you don't have to watch it. You can
Yeah,
skip that.
that's
You're like,
true.
oh, then I don't care. Like, I'll just do a couple of exciting things and rewatch those.
I feel like sometimes it'd be like The Office where you would like look over like your shoulder into where you think you're going to be looking and like make contact with yourself. Like, oh, look what happened.
Like spiking the lens.
Yeah,
Like, can you
spiking
believe
the
that just
lens.
happened?
Oh,
Making a face.
you know, there's like moments of drunkenness where I'll stop and then I'll just like really contemplate what I'm doing and be like, I will remember this moment of clarity and what stupid decision I just made, and then I'll just continue on with the drunken night. I don't know.
If you had to recall every memory of your life,
Mhm.
how long would that take? Like,
Like,
if
It
I
would
said,
take
if I
just as long as you've been alive.
no, because you forget most of it.
I think you said if you had to. Okay, I see.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
if
I remember
if I said
from like the age of 11 on. Everything before that, nah.
like if I said, tell me everything that you did since when you turned 20 to right now, how long would you be talking for? Like an hour? Like you
I
wouldn't
would
be very.
hope it would be more than an hour.
Could you actually do it?
I think so.
Really?
I think.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't think.
I do like to talk a lot,
Yeah.
so I do have that going. For
I
me.
just feel like you forget like 95% of the details of your entire life.
Well, what's the age of your earliest memory? I think mine's like
2.
really.
Yeah.
Okay. I think mine's like 4 or 5.
I think I remember around 2 also. Like I remember some really early stuff.
I was scared of a vacuum cleaner.
So, is it true that
Loud.
the more you remember something, the more that memory like deteriorates and you just like start to forget it? I'm not crazy.
I find that if the more you tell a story, the more that story like overwrites the original memory to the point where you've like left details out of the story and then you forget them.
My first traffic ticket, I can like remember how it kind of actually happened and then how I told it, and then now they're like kind of blending a little bit.
Yeah.
But I guess me saying that makes me realize. Never mind.
Do you feel like
That you're a liar?
Yeah.
do you feel like some of the things you remember, you're not you might be remembering it, like it might not be real. You just might remember thinking something happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It
Makes sense.
Yeah, nothing. It's all gone. It's just the memory. It's just all gone.
Surrender.
It's depressing, boss.
Yeah. What a depressing thought.
It's all gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you ask me like age 10 to 20, I'd be like, well, here's 7 things.
All right. What did you do? How old are you now?
29.
All right. What did you do? What have you done since you turned 29?
Watched renders. I don't know.
Didn't go out to eat lunch.
No.
Stayed inside, no windows.
I don't know. I haven't gone on. It's like when you don't have like life events, like you're not going out on vacation or doing anything crazy.
When's the last time you took a vacation?
Like days off or went somewhere?
Like went somewhere? Like took serious time off?
That wasn't work related.
Went to Mexico,
I
didn't
went to Mexico for a few days to Monterey, like I don't know, 8 months ago. There was a Blockbuster there. Oh, it was cool.
That's cool.
I mean, it wasn't really like much of a vacation. It was like seeing family, like vacation. Probably when we went to Disney World, like 2 years ago.
I was a part of your last vacation.
Yeah.
That's sad. I'm sorry.
Hey, Blaine,
What's up?
you got a lady?
It's a weird transition.
You
I
got
mean-
a total deer in the headlights look.
Let's hit it. What we got?
Well, I visited San Francisco to visit a lady friend.
How'd you guys meet?
Fuck you guys. Well,
You came out here.
No, I know.
90% of the things you talk about in this company are about girls.
Yeah,
and dates.
but I'm keeping his or her identity protected. So it ends up that we went to like several conventions. I think like 4 or 5 conventions together, and we've been within like a 10-foot distance of one another and have never met. And then
How do you know you're within 10-foot distance?
because we've retraced our steps and been like, oh yeah, I was at that party, and she'd be, or
As she's an attendee?
he or she would be like, yeah, no, well, maybe, sure, yes, yeah. I don't want to give away this person's
You're
identity.
so
'Cause-
Is it someone famous?
so
Blaine, you're the worst like liar, the worst like
I
person
didn't-
I've ever seen trying to cover up.
I want to be able to tell this story because I don't want to piss off the people at home that are listening. And be like,
Without
"Fuck this
saying
guy."
anything, do I know?
Maybe, I don't know. Oh, you're thinking of that, Pert. Are you thinking of that? No.
Is it
no.
Felicia Day?
No,
You heard it here first.
it's not Felicia Day. We're not playing the guessing game either. But no, so we've retraced our
dangerous
steps.
game.
We've been like, oh yeah, I was, here, and I was like, oh well, I talked to that person. Oh well, I was talking to that person. Like, yo, you were, so we like, but yeah, like we've been to several things together and have never once ran into her. And the only reason I found her was she like
Him or her.
him or her. He contacted me via social network or whatever. They like commented on something, and then I was like, who the fuck is this person? And then we started talking, and then yeah.
Have you deleted Tinder?
Yeah. This is just comfortable because I don't like coming out about like it. It's like an added level of pressure now because like people know about it.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But I don't know about it.
I like San Francisco. How long were you there?
6 days.
I'm giving him an out.
5 or 6 days. Thank you. No, it's a cool town. I got to visit.
What color's her hair?
So a couple.
I can't even say that because
A couple of trips ago.
Oh, so you can't say it because it's like a unique color.
A couple of trips ago, when I went to San Francisco earlier this year, I went with my in-laws and we stayed at the Fairmont there, which I guess is an old hotel. I guess it opened right around the time that San Francisco had that big earthquake at the turn of the century, and they have an interesting thing there where on the roof of the hotel they have a garden with a bunch of flowers and beehives. And then they use the honey from those beehives for like all of the different honey-based dishes that they serve in the restaurant.
Afraid of bears.
While I was with this he or she,
It doesn't say who you're dating.
I already
on Google.
transitioned and was ready to talk about other
Yeah,
stuff. You totally just dragged us back into it.
Sorry. Well, when
Threw
I was
him a
in,
lifeline. Fuck it, we're doubling down.
while I was in San Francisco, there apparently is a bar that used to be a speakeasy, and while Prohibition was a thing, the current president of the time, and I can't remember who it was, and this makes the story less cool, was there, and then they died in that bar. But they had a tunnel.
His ghost is still in there.
Huh? Its ghost is still in there watching. So
it McKinley?
they had a tunnel. What?
McKinley?
I don't think it was McKinley. Maybe. What's McKinley's full name? Anyway, so they didn't want the president of the United States to be found in a speakeasy during Prohibition, so they transported his body to the hotel across the street through a tunnel, and then they like put it up in a bed, and he died in sleep.
They didn't weekend at Bernie's him like, he's got to get the president back to Washington, D.C. Nobody can know.
He needs to finish his term. But yeah, and then it came out like 20 years later that was, he was in a speakeasy. So, history.
So speaking of
don't fucking do it. I know you're
speaking
doing.
of speakeasies,
Yeah.
Brandon sent me this video earlier today that I guess this bouncer wore a GoPro outside of a bar on New Year's Eve just to show like all the shit he has to put up with. I think it was New Year's Eve 2014, and it's just like I cannot imagine being a bouncer. After watching that video,
Was
I
it
was
in the US?
It was in Canada.
Those guys get shit on.
He said sorry a lot. He was the nicest bouncer
it
ever.
is.
Yeah.
But just listening to him have the same conversations over and over and over, it's so frustrating.
And nothing's more obnoxious than talking to somebody who's really, really drunk when you're sober.
Yeah, they're all
And then
really
you're
drunk.
like telling them no.
Yeah, they're all really drunk, really angry. They can't get their story straight, and he's like super sober and super calm and just like a parent talking to an upset child. Just
That is
like,
awful.
Yeah.
When
no,
I was-
you can't come in. You got kicked out. No, we're not letting you back in.
Does
you
he-
got kicked
Does
out.
he
Jesus
punch any
Christ.
faces in this video?
No.
It's in Canada.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
snowy.
They hug. They don't punch.
They are not
Oh,
dressed
this
for the
is in New
snow.
York City. It's Canada?
No, it's I looked it up. I looked up the name of the bar. You can see it. It was in London, Ontario.
Oh, okay.
Oh, London.
Yeah.
Oh shit. He's gonna violent.
Yeah, that's the closest they come to physical confrontation. But he just like goes up to the guy and it's like, hey, you need to put your arms down. We're not going to fight. We don't want to hit you. He's like, you just need to calm down, walk away.
Back
we don't
before
have to show the whole video.
Back before I worked at Rooster Teeth.
I assume the guy's giant, too.
Yeah. It seems like it might be like chest level and still like head level
Yeah,
for
he was still pretty
most
high.
people. Yeah.
There was the bar I was at, I think the other day, there was a guy there who's a bouncer at another bar, like in Dallas, and he's a pretty big dude. He apparently was like having words with these girls that were next to us, and so they leave, and I think the girl's friend or maybe boyfriend comes back into our area to confront this guy, but he obviously had no idea what the guy looked like. And I just imagine like walking in that room, be like, I'm going to show this guy who's boss. Like, you can't do that. And then seeing him being like, oh, fuck. Like, I got to go in, make my peace, and get out of here as soon as possible.
I went to Texas A&M to visit a friend when I was going to college, and there was this bouncer. He's the largest man I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I felt like a 10-year-old next to an adult man. I was walking through, he checked my ID, and I was like, okay, that's it. And then I started walking in, he's like, He just stuck out his hand. He didn't say stop or anything. He just stuck out his hand. And it was like getting hit by a log. And he's like, you got to put a wristband on. And I stuck out my hand and he put the wristband on for me. He's the most emasculating thing. He's just this massive fucking dude.
It's like tying a little piece of string to a twig for him.
Yeah. And it was like, normally I feel like,
Your tie is loose, so he kind of ties it for you.
he just tries to
Straightens
shoot.
it.
But like normally whenever I meet a guy, even if it's a really big guy, I size him up and I'd be like, I think I have a chance against this guy. I was just like, I'd be fucked. Like he'd be
Every guy you meet, you're like, I could take him.
you don't do that. That's like
No,
the male
I don't think
instinct.
I've ever done that. Because usually,
But-
when
but-
95% of people would kick your face in, it's like there's no point in
Blaine
playing
has
it.
to look at me and he knows he can't handle this. It's not happening.
With these glasses, yeah, I shouldn't be picking fights with these puppies.
Yeah, once the glasses fall off, you can't see anything. Have you ever been in a fight, Blaine?
Nope.
Anybody?
Oh, when I was a little kid, like I don't know, like 8 or 9 or something.
Bit of a smooth talker.
Daycare was pretty rough.
Rough times.
Gavin, you ever been in a fight?
No, I told the story. I just thumped someone in the back of the head once because he was like choking one of my friends, and I just like hit his head and ran.
Since we always make these like promises that we'll do stuff together outside of the podcast, and then we never fulfill them, we should like get in like a fight together, you and me. Like go to a bar and like pick a fight with some people. That'd be fun.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
We could do this after we watch The Matrix together, the whole series. We still haven't done that yet.
What if it makes the news of like? What if the people we start a fight with know us? I just saw Gavin and Blaine out downtown. I was super excited, and they beat the shit out of me.
They'd be like, "This is the best day ever."
You get kicked out of the country.
Yeah, I'd get deported immediately.
Nah, you'd be fine.
Yeah,
Let's go pick a fight. It'd be fun.
I don't want to pick a fight.
Oh, so when Dan's in town.
If you see something
Down a
dangerous
bit.
going on, do you just like run away? Like if something gets a little
Absolutely.
serious, you just like
Honestly, you
hightail it.
gotta weigh it up. You gotta be like, am I gonna get caught in this and maybe like get blinded or something really serious? Is it worth it? Maybe not.
What's
No,
the,
it's like I was in a massive scuffle once in a bar. There were like 20 people, like all just trying to punch each other. It was like people just doing like front crawl into a big pile
Why?
of dudes, and there was just blood all over the ceiling. And the
Why?
walls and stuff.
fuck?
I don't know, just drunken people fighting, just chavs, English chavs.
Chavs.
We need to find one of those.
One time I went to,
They're everywhere.
I don't even know if it's still open. There's that bar on 6th Street, the library.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of my
I
regular-
walked into the library once, and it was years ago. It was probably like 15 years ago or something. And I was going to go upstairs. So, walk in, you walk past the bar on your left, and there's like a staircase to go up. And I walked up to the staircase, and I like kind of slipped a little. I'm like, oh, someone must have spilled something. And I looked down, and it was a giant puddle of blood.
Oh my god!
I was like, oh, cool. I guess there's no need to like clean that up, right?
Did they have the pirate ship wheel when you went back in the
I don't remember ever seeing that. So I'm going to say either no or I was too drunk to remember.
Be a terrible way to die is slipping on someone else's. Slipping basically on someone else's life, ending yours.
Well, if you hit your head, you don't know if like is this my blood or his blood.
Yeah.
Is that the bar that it has the guy's bathroom that has like the one-way mirror?
That's the aquarium,
Oh, okay.
right?
Aquarium's closed now. I thought that was one of the bars that got shut down when they did
Yeah.
the whole drug raid thing.
Well, you used to be able to go to the guy's bathroom and like at a urinal, you could just see the bar.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
that's fucking cool.
that was the aquarium.
Yeah, was it?
Or whatever it is now. I don't know. I'm an old man. I don't go down to 6th Street
no
anymore.
club anymore. I was gonna say when we were watching that thing, my internship before I worked for Rooster Teeth was with a magazine company that distributed on campus, and they do it on a couple of college campuses.
Study break?
Study Breaks magazine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was producing their web content. Yeah, it's the broiest, frattiest fucking magazine. I hated it because I was just producing shit that I didn't believe in. But one of the things that I was like, we should do something on 6th Street. So I made a show called Drunk Trivia, and I would go down and I would shoot people answering just pretty easy trivia questions, but they're just fucking blasted. So I'd just like find frat guys and sorority girls. And I would go down there every weekend. I started to get recognized as like the Study Breaks guy. And one time I remember encountering some guys, and I made this one dude in my first video look like a total asshole. And apparently it got like around the frat houses. Well, I ran into some people and like, "You're the Study Breaks guy." And I was like, "Yeah, have you seen my stuff?" And they're like, "Yeah, one of our frat brothers was in your first video. It was the guy in the white polo." And I was like, "Oh yeah, how's that going?" And he's like, "Oh, we love it, bro." Like, so like they were like totally cool.
It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah, but it's fucking sucks because interacting with drunk people when you're sober is just the worst.
Well, no, I mean, when we did recaps downtown, that was the most fun that I had, is like interacting with people, like an interview or something like that. That's fun.
But we got pretty tipsy whenever we went down there too, though.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that was fun. We peed in an alleyway together.
You remember the weirdest things in the world.
Why did I say it like that?
I guess
if I
add
was, like,
that to the
holding
things
you.
I've done in the last like decade.
Those are fun.
We filmed, God, I mean, it's been a long time now, but a couple of years ago we filmed those. We ended up scrapping it. We filmed that like polished podcast intro we were going to transition to, but Bernie killed it. Thanks, Bernie. And
Why do you get rid of it?
he thought it looked too slick. He thought it was like too high production value and people wouldn't like it.
I was there for years.
Yeah, and I pretended like I was taking a dump in an alley.
Yeah,
And then,
way too slick.
Some homeless dude walked by and was, like gets into the shot. I was like, "Hey, what's going on here? You acting like you're homeless? That's cool." And I was like, "Oh my god."
That was you, me, Brandon, and Esther. I remember
yeah.
shooting that, and this fucking homeless guy would not leave you alone.
Do we have any of that footage to show?
I
I'm
looked
sure
I
we do.
looked for it recently. I wanted to show it at an event, and we couldn't find it.
It's buried
man.
somewhere on an
But
old drive.
Gus, I remember you were like, you pulled your pants on, and you're like, all right, everybody ready? Had your pants ready? You did it? Pull them down, and then the guy came up, and you're like,
Because it's like I'm sitting there with my ass hanging out, and some fucking homeless
You
dude
actually pulled your
is
boxers
like
down?
walking up to me, like talking to me, like, "Oh my
Did
god."
you pull your underwear off?
Yeah, sure, why not?
yeah, he was showing crack. But I remember
What if your
the
knob flopped down between your legs?
Yeah, that's an extra bonus.
the
could've
homeless
hit the
guy, though, I
floor.
remember he was like, hey, you acting homeless?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Then I felt bad. I was like, "Well, it's not like
So what was everyone else's intro? I never did one.
We only did
we didn't
two
Barbara's
or
and mine."
three.
No, we did Barbara's at Pete's. Doing
Yeah.
piano. She was up there. She was listening to the guy play the piano. She was like in a nice like jazzy dress or whatever. And I remember you tipped that guy like $100 because I remember you put money into the tip jar as a prop, and then he was like, "Oh, thanks," and he thought it was like.
I didn't do that. That was someone else who.
And-
I was a.
And then she steals the money and runs away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put a lot of money in there, and you lost a lot of money.
That was
we,
a prop.
we did alternate takes. One where it was like normal and like classy, like it was supposed to be like me just standing downtown, and then the other one was like taking a dump. So it was like everyone was gonna have a good intro and a bad
That's
intro,
funny.
and it was gonna cycle. And
You know, if that the homeless guy ever becomes a regular on the podcast, we'll at least have an intro for him too.
we'll have what for him?
We'll have an intro.
Oh,
for
an
him.
intro for him.
Salvage
Yeah.
your-
Dude, when we worked downtown, there was so many. I mean, we saw someone like taking a crap in the parking lot next to the building. Mm-hmm. It is rough.
There were people taking craps on a back door to our office. Don't you remember that? There was always like a fucking fresh turd on the step leading into the back door.
I felt like it was either a turd or someone tried to smash the handle off the door.
God, it was the fucking worst. I do not miss working downtown.
It wasn't even like an alley. It was like in a shop up the stairs. It wasn't even.
Oh
like,
right, yeah. There was like
Yeah, it was
How
like
did that happen?
you had to get into a place, a food place, and then go upstairs.
and then see the sign that says "Do not enter,"
Yeah.
private, and then be like, "Oh, I'm gonna break that door."
When I lived in UT, I lived in a co-op, and drag rats, that's like the homeless people that live on Guadalupe, they would used to break into our co-op's
Hey, that's
basement.
their word, Blaine.
Drag rats? That's their
Can't
life.
say it.
That's their hierarchy. So the king drag rat. Anyway, so they broke into. I don't know where I was going with that. They broke into our like basement stairwell or whatever, and they just took like it was several of them. I think united and took shits, like a lot of shits on the ground. And I remember there was this one kid who's fucking lazy, and I made him clean it. And he threatened to open up a lawsuit against me for like making him clean all the homeless people's shit. Yeah, it's a good time. You smell like ass.
That's a good story. Here, let me read this other thing here.
There's a lot of talk of
Yes,
feces.
100%.
Are you okay?
Yeah, yeah.
You okay? Can I read this? Can I make some money?
Stop thinking about feces.
All right. Just stop. All right. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by.
Do you keep any clean underwear here at the
Do I
office?
keep any clean underwear at the office? No.
Are you going in now that I suggested it?
Confident man.
Why? Should I? Do you guys need clean underwear at the office?
I keep
No, but I
spare
think that's-
contacts, toothbrush, and all that stuff up here. Spare
No.
clothes.
Yeah, no. It's like, what if you get out of town?
What if you shit your pants?
What? I'm an adult.
Not all of us shit twice a day, Blaine.
I'm not going to shit my pants.
Do you? I need MeUndies because like those are the underwear that you want to see. Like you want someone to see you in those underwear. It's like the nice underwear, the date underwear. When you know you're going out and you might be seen naked later, you wear those underwear. They're nice.
You'd wear them all the time.
So do you hate it when you've put on nice underwear and you end the night just taking them off yourself?
I fucking
and
hate it because it's like
You'd be like, listen, can I just show you my underwear? I put them on. I mean, we don't have to do anything. I just want someone to see.
Do you have
But
a
it's-
go-to color? It's like, breaking out the black underwear.
no.
You got to go with like vertical stripes to make it look longer.
Oh yeah.
No, I actually do have like the nice like these are like the zazzy underwear, like the fun ones, you know. It's like little polka dots and shit.
what are
like
you
that.
wearing right now?
Blaine, do you own silk boxers?
I
Pull them up.
No, well, it's not a MeUndies brand. I don't want to show who it is because it's not our sponsor. But here, I'll show you the color. There you go.
Blue.
It's more of a turquoise. It's my favorite color. Same
Yeah.
color as my Jeep.
It's intentional.
There you go.
Have you seen that video of the rat in the New York subway that's going around?
Yeah.
What did it do?
So it's like there was that pizza rat that everyone was like obsessed about, where it's like the rat's carrying pizza.
Yeah.
But now they're calling this one Cosby rat.
Oh, I thought it was called Cannibal Rat.
What
We're
did
talking
you do?
about 2 different rat videos.
No, it's the same one. It's like there's either a passed out or a dead rat, and this other rats are like dragging it along.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is like your
Cosby
buddy
Felix.
that you have to get home, and you're like, I hope he's just asleep.
Yeah, it's like it makes me think of like a war movie where he's like he's trying to pull him out from the front lines, like trying to get him to the medic.
Or it looks
yeah,
like the
he got
Ewoks.
hit by a subway, and he's
Return
just
of the
like,
Jedi.
get out of here.
But it's weird. It's like he's taken this probably dead rat and like carrying it down the stairs.
Oh.
It's really bizarre.
Yeah, I mean they're intelligent animals, right?
seen-
Like, what's the thought process?
Have you seen the video of the raccoon with the pink thing? I don't know what it is. Like,
oh, it's
there
cotton
is-
candy.
Cotton candy.
Or fairy floss.
candy floss.
Candy floss. Sorry.
Have you seen this, Blaine?
Mm-mm.
He's like just holding it with his mouth or his hands, and it falls into water and dissolves immediately. And the raccoon's just like,
He's like searching through the water for it.
oh my god, it's the cutest thing. It just can't figure out what happened.
I've seen another one, like an alternative one of that, where a raccoon has the cotton candy, and he goes and he dips it in the water intentionally, and then it just disappears, and he's like,
Splitting it.
This is the saddest thing in the world.
raccoons are so weird to me. It's like they're super smart, and they've got like hands, and they can do stuff, and they have thoughts. It's just
They have
freak
thoughts?
They freak me out a little. Like they plan stuff.
How do they have more thoughts than any other animal?
I feel like they're good problem solvers. Like they know how to get into your trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they could hurt you too, or give you a disease. Like I opened one morning, I opened the door and I left the trash out overnight, and then I opened it, and then the raccoon went there in the trash and just started looking at me, and I screamed and ran back in the apartment and slammed the door because they're diseases and they're
Yeah.
gonna hurt you.
Man, at least you handled it like a man, Brandon.
Oh, what did you want me to go up and punch it? Size it up
just
and be
looked
like,
at him,
I
I
can
was like,
take this raccoon.
Oh, speaking of trash cans, did you see the really stupid thing the city of Austin did this year?
What did they do?
So they send just about every year they send out a mailer with all of the recycling pickup days for the year, so that you know when your area is going to have their recycling picked up. Because in Austin, it's every other week they come and pick up the recycling. So they sent out, excuse me, they mailed out the calendars to everybody in the city of Austin this year. They forgot 2016 is a leap year.
Oh, you serious?
So there's no February 29th on that calendar, which immediately, so after February 28th, the calendar is absolutely worthless because everything is a day off.
Were these like leaflets, like pamphlets that they sent out?
Yeah, it's like you unfold it. It was bigger. Like when it unfolded, it was bigger than the side pad.
Oh my
You
god,
know, it's
that's
like,
a lot of paper that they just wasted.
Yeah, it's just like
This is a leap year?
Yeah.
2016 divisible by 4.
Something they wasted for a product that's
So think of
Completely
the
irrelevant.
irony in this. They want to recycle things. They want to make sure that they're saving Earth, so they print all of these things to inform people to save, and then they just wasted so much.
Yeah, it's like,
fucking
well,
paper.
just throw it right in the recycling
That
bin.
is the
Yeah.
worst.
Isn't there something weird with leap years? On
There
like,
is something where there's an extra day.
the like the 1000th day, isn't it? The 1000th year isn't a leap year or something?
yeah.
Oh, really?
It's like the remainder 0.00001. Eventually, after 1,000 years,
So in the-
accumulates into an additional
In the
day.
year, then in the year 2000, that shouldn't have been a leap year.
I don't know what. There's some sort of 1000 rule with leap years that makes it so they're not all the time.
Maybe there's a specific year, like I don't know, 57 or something. That's the year. I
Leap
guess.
year 1000 rule.
What are you guys' New Year's resolution? How was you guys' New Year's?
I went to Jack's house.
How was that?
It was fun. Where were you?
Okay,
San
So-
Francisco?
New Year's event.
leap years occur in years. We'll get to that in a second. Leap years occur in years exactly divisible by 4, except the years ending in 00
So
are
2000.
leap years only if they're divisible by 400. So 2000 was divisible by 400,
Right, but
So it doesn't count.
2100.
but 2100 and 1900 were not leap years. So we missed it. We're never going to see that
We're
in our
never going to
lives.
witness that.
Nope.
Oh, you guys might not.
You're going to live till 2100?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Wait, that's totally possible. Wait,
To live to the year 2100?
2100, yes. Because
Oh, y'all forget. Y'all are way younger
I'm
than I
90.
am.
I
no way
only
I'm
have
getting
to be
there.
110. That's totally doable.
I'd have to be 122.
I'm gonna live until
It's
20.
like double.
I'll live till 2100, then I'll just be like, "Fuck you," and I'll die.
Just fuck you. We'll all be dead. You'll be saying it to no one.
I'll say
You'll be
to your
110
ghosts
year
that are
old man
still
saying,
sitting
"Fuck
wherever
you."
they died. Call back.
Then you'll be 110 dead on a porn set.
Yes, it happened.
So When did it happen that everyone in Austin became an asshole about fireworks?
What? Because they're banned
in the city, don't do it.
It's like, I think I was kept awake listening to fireworks till like 5 in the fucking morning.
I thought you were talking about enforcement of fireworks. People are still letting them off.
It's like, fine, whatever. Like,
Are you
I
sure?
know it's illegal.
People were doing that
whatever.
on like Christmas Eve.
I could hear-
or like the day before Christmas Eve. as
I
well.
could hear
People are
people fucking screaming and lighting fireworks till 5 in the morning. It's like,
I think it's like gun
the fuck is
rights.
wrong with
It's
you
like
people?
I have a right as an American to light fireworks. I think it just gets like the more you try to restrict people, the more they're just gonna do it. And it sucks because like it drives the dog crazy.
yeah, my dog
kills
was
your dogs.
Unhappy. I had to sleep on the couch with him like tucked in right next to me so that he'd shut the fuck up.
We drugged her.
I gave him Valium too.
Valium.
Yeah, well, my dog has a fucking prescription for Valium. There, I said it. So yeah,
That's not how I meant
gave
it at all.
Do you have? Man, do you have pet insurance?
No, what does that mean?
It's like you pay a company like monthly, and then whenever your dog gets sick or something, like it's like
Your dog
insurance,
gets
like-
sick
Is
all
this
the
company
time.
is ran by a prince who's in Nigeria, Brandon?
No, it's a real thing. It's like a whole big industry. And at this point, like I took the dog back into the vet and
Did
had
it
to
eat
pay.
more lube?
No, and the sad thing is I have to like if I talk about the dog going to the vet, I have to make a disclaimer that it was not lube that put it in there.
That was the first thing I asked when
I
you
know,
said
like,
Penny.
everyone-
Because I love Penny. I was like, oh god, she ate another condom or lube. Or...
She found our leftover duck and ate a bunch of duck.
Is duck bad for dogs?
That duck is not great for dogs. It is
Why is
very
that?
fatty.
Well, it's a fatty meat, but it's not like a red onion.
Well, like
The fuck
okay,
is
so
that?
like they had to do X-rays, and X-rays of dogs.
Is that your
aren't
dog?
Cheap.
Is that
yeah.
Penny?
Is
It's
there a
like
duck inside
the
it?
darker
Little
part,
tail.
it's all like gas that had been built up. So it was like enjoy the next 2 days. But yeah, it's like you go and it's just like thing after test after test after test.
I love that her tail's fucking curled up.
Yeah, dog's tails are weird. But that means she's happy though. You said that Cinnamon Bun is happy.
Yeah, so everyone's happy, and
Well,
then
she was
straight is like freak the fuck out.
Right, she should have been straight because she was getting X-ray. That's
Well, no,
kinda
but she had
scary.
just ate a bunch of duck. She's like, fuck
So
yeah.
she's happy. Cinnamon roll.
Can you get live X-ray video?
I don't know.
Oh,
Total
like in
Recall
Total
has
Recall?
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nice.
I would want to
video.
sprint full speed and see if I can see all my stomach slosh, like and bladder like bouncing around.
When I was going to the airport once, I put my phone upside down to film it going through the X-ray thing. I was like, oh, I'll make like a little travel video like every other asshole. It was so creative. And then I think the guy saw it. He took my phone and flipped it. And I was like, oh, fuck.
What? You didn't want you to see the inside of a dark machine?
I guess not.
What happens in there?
I don't know because I didn't get to film it.
Oh, you know what you can do?
What's up?
Oh, do you have an Apple Watch?
Or if
No, I'm not cool.
if you have
You
one
can
of those Bluetooth
see
trigger.
through your camera.
Oh, he knows.
Through the watch.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing he discovered when I got mine, and he was like, he and Daniel were like, "This is the coolest thing ever." I was like, "You guys are creeps."
Because we were like right here, I remember, and I made like you walked like all the way outside of stage 5, and I was still like, yep, still going.
I cracked my watch.
You
yesterday.
cracked it?
I'm super depressed.
How bad?
The entire corner is like cracked, and it doesn't work, like the pressure thing. And I was like, I guess I could take it in, but I was like, I'm so lazy. I was like, I'll just send it in.
That's why I wear $10 Casio watches.
Casio?
Fuck yeah, Casios look cool, man.
You're not wearing watches.
Casio
Do you
or
not wear?
Casio?
I don't know.
Are you over the Apple Watch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I still wear it. It's just it ran out of batteries.
Oh, okay.
I've been traveling a lot, and I never bring the charger.
I might jump on board, when it becomes like an independent thing. Until then, while it's still tethered to the iPhone, I don't see it's an expensive fucking watch. But
It
not
is.
not like something like an heirloom you can pass on. Your
Well, they're
kids.
bringing out the second one soon. This year.
I don't know what the updates are going to be.
Better, faster.
And probably
Stronger.
FaceTime. You can the future, talking to your watch.
There'll be a
It's just-
hologram that you can bang.
Fuck yeah! All right, I'm in.
Then you got to
Tiny
clean it
little-
up. So I remembered something. The last place I worked at before Rooster Teeth, we actually had the option to pay into and buy pet insurance.
See? Yeah.
So I guess that's a thing. That company is no longer around for what it's worth. So take that with a grain of salt.
So at this company, did they have like some sort of scheme where you paid and then you slowly would go down some sort of triangle-like shape? Bad joke.
I just
Dead.
feel weird calling them and just asking them about like their coverage and be like, well, what if my dog eats this? What if my dog like chews through a box of condoms or eats a bunch of lube?
I bet they've heard some pretty weird shit though. So I think you'd be okay.
Like, what if it's like, well, it depends. What flavor was the lube?
I'm telling you, Poison Control knew. I was like, it's this. They're like, is it this brand and the model? I was like, it is exactly.
Maybe the dude is just like really in the lube that you were talking to.
Maybe.
Why do you need lube? You're. Never mind. I don't want
No,
to.
let's go. Let's go.
No,
Let's
no,
do
no,
it.
no, no.
He knows.
You're
that
not dating a
He knows
70-year-old.
that. He goes
Alright.
down this line of questioning.
Well, okay,
He's gonna
let's-
get it back
please-
even worse.
Yeah, you're right.
Blaine,
Paula is
you-
not 70.
You mumble your way through that, and I'll translate for you to Brandon. Go.
Paul's just like younger. So.
Brandon, why aren't you getting her wet?
I'm cringing over here.
God.
It's good regard. Like you can go like, stronger, faster, quicker. And then for the guy, it's like you last a little bit.
Gavin.
It's like a thing. Are you going to translate for me too, and Blaine?
Gavin.
Wait, you last longer? Or less?
Yeah. It like helps you last longer. Because there's less like.
Why are you
there's
looking at
less
me?
like.
There's less
There's less,
friction.
like,
I can
tugging.
I can see what he's saying.
Huh.
And it's like.
God damn it.
But also a dude produces his own lube.
It's true.
After what?
No. Not afterwards.
Okay, you're looking at cameras. You're saying that.
Everyone in there's
No,
freaking out.
Gavin's. It's called pre-com. Yeah.
It is indeed. Thanks, Blaine.
Yeah. You're
It's
welcome.
like that much. How much? do you
for
drink?
you.
Really?
Are you
Like-
dehydrated?
Yeah, I don't drink a lot of water. Is that how it's affecting me?
His
This is like.
penis has just got like slime coming out the end, and that's it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Gus,
Gus, what'd you do for New
I
Year's?
got a lot.
lot of pre.
Really?
I wonder if it's. What about you?
What about me?
A lot or a little?
Pretty fair amount. I also rely on the partner to produce.
Maybe I make it up with the back end,
Okay.
though. Like the regular, it's like
I was
like a milk carton.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like a milk carton.
I mean,
That's really gross,
eventually,
dude.
though, after a while, you'll need it.
So you've never used lube.
No, because, well, no.
Oh, come on. You said well.
I'll explain
Wait,
later.
let me translate again. Only in the butt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The crudest podcast ever. Award winning.
Yeah. I mean, after a while, though, like if you've been going for a while, they lose the and then
They'll lose the what?
the
You get a bit raw.
right. Yeah.
I'm still translating
Yeah.
for his mumbles.
But there's other ways. There's other natural ways to get around that. Have you found a new subject to
Are there
transition
natural
into?
ways to get around that? I was looking for it, but you just
Spit?
kind of.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
making. Okay.
Yeah. There's
Is that the
ways
most like detail graphic we ever got on this
around it.
podcast?
It may
Yeah,
be.
and I hate that it's me too because
Well, it was only ever going to be you, Blaine.
You've had a bad run this podcast.
well, no, actually no. So with Josh,
I know what to
Chris-
get you for Christmas though next year.
Did you take any to New Year's?
Huh?
Huh?
Was it a house party?
No, I mean, did you bring any lube?
Matt, so I'm gonna save you. For
didn't
the
need
first
it,
time
but-
ever. So New Year's typically people like go out and get really fucked up and visit friends and stuff. I hate all of that. I don't want to see anybody. I just wanted to stay home and just get drunk at home. But for the first time ever in my life on New Year's Eve, I got vertigo.
What?
Yeah, it's like I was fine. I ate dinner. And then I was like, all right, New Year's Eve, gonna get fucked up, gonna sit down, play some video games. And then like as soon as I sat on my couch, like I sat down with a beer, I was like, I feel really dizzy. So I had to spend all of New Year's Eve like this, just like with my head back on the couch, not moving. Like if I sat forward to grab my beer, like the whole room felt like it was spinning.
That
Hey,
is
why does that
awful.
happen?
you should go to a
Yeah,
doctor.
it's like
Were you
but
poisoned?
It was fine the next morning.
Yeah,
and then so it's
still.
like when I went to go like walk my dogs that night, like just bending over to put my shoes on, I was like, whoa, I feel like I'm gonna fall over.
You should go to a doctor.
Why does that happen?
I don't know, no idea.
I only had that
You sound like
once.
my wife. She wants me to go to the doctor. I was
Yeah,
like,
you
but
should.
It passed. It was fine.
I am your
No,
wife.
I took like 6 weeks before I went to the doctor because my hand hurt, and they found a broken bone. So
I did the same thing with my foot.
Find a broken brain.
I once had a thing where I needed to pop my ears, and I was like moving my jaw around to try and pop it. And in the end, I just yawned, and my ear popped. It almost cracked, and all of a sudden, my cheek hit the floor. Like it like disrupted my ear fluid or something.
Oh.
And I just went completely dizzy and just fell over. Like I didn't have
Oh.
any balance.
oh yeah, because it messed your point of
yeah, I was just like suddenly horizontal. I was like, when did I fall? What the hell just happened? And you're like ruined without that ear fluid. It's crazy.
what happened? You just like
You just don't know which way up you are, and so you just go over, because balance is such a subconscious thing that when you lose that ability, there's just no. You're not trained to deal with it.
Yeah, you
That's
realize
what I
how
kept thinking of.
ridiculous it is that we can walk on 2 legs.
Yeah,
to begin
when I was dizzy that night on New Year's
Yeah.
Eve, that's what I kept thinking. It was like nothing's wrong with me. Why the fuck can I not stand up? Like I've been standing up fine for years.
Yeah, I've been doing this for like 30 years.
I've got this. I've got this under control. I know how to do this. It's just like it's so weird when it gets fucked up like that. I don't understand it.
I wish you could turn it on and off with the switch.
You want to turn your balance off?
Or just like
I wish you could turn other people's on and off.
like turn the entire room's worth of people off at
That'd be
once.
so good. That'd be a good superpower.
I mean, things just get trashed. And you lose your sense of.
Yeah, I can't really do that. I'm at the point now where I get hungover before I get drunk,
Yeah.
so I just don't.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think I've ever gotten so drunk. I've been blackout drunk, but I've never lost like my physical like ability to like continue to walk or anything like that.
Did you
Like,
see
I've
the
never-
extra live stream?
Huh? That was you. That wasn't me.
Yeah, I couldn't walk.
Yeah. That was pretty bad.
So yeah, it's rare. I think it's only happened to me twice in my life, and that was one of the 2 times.
I was gonna say, apparently I am like a really convincing drunk. Like people will think that I'm sober when I'm drunk, but I'll be like, I'm so shit faced. Oh my god! Like I'll be freaking out, and then I'll look perfectly normal, and I'll talk normal, which is kind of scary. I don't like that about me. I want people to know.
I
that,
drive normal. It's super weird.
I
really
run over
weird.
pedestrians just like normal. If I was sober, it'd be the exact same way. I think that's like one of the dumbest things. Is like you hear about people who are driving drunk, and it's like they're so drunk that they get on the highway and drive the wrong way. Like you hear about that. It seems like 3 or 4 times a year in Austin.
It happens in
it's
Austin,
like,
yeah.
how fucked up are you that you get in the car and then you don't know what you go on 35 going the wrong fucking way?
Yeah.
I
Like,
knew-
it's really bright out here tonight.
Like it's like you have to go down the on ramp and then like turn 180 degrees back.
And I swear, it seems like every one of those times, the driver always lives.
Yeah,
It's everyone else.
I knew someone. Like, I knew a girl once who did that. She got absolutely wankered, drove the wrong way down the motorway, and apparently a ton of people were calling the police saying they'd seen the car going the wrong way. So the police came down the right way and like flashed in the lights and like parked to try and get her to stop, and she just went straight into the police car.
Holy shit.
And then she went to prison.
Have you ever been behind a drunk driver? Like someone who's obviously drunk?
I've been behind people
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure are drunk. Yeah,
I was behind a guy one time on 75 back in Dallas, and was leaving a girl's home. It was like 3 a.m. at night. Driving along, I see this like red Ford Explorer, orange Ford Explorer, and I see it kind of moving. I was like, oh, that guy doesn't look too good. And then suddenly, whoa, he just swerves into the side, and it's just like he scraped against the sidewall for like a while. Sparks were like flying. And then he straightened up, and I think he realized what he was doing, and then he noticed I was behind him, and he just fucking bolted for it. Like he just sped off.
There was a this is like North Campus here in Austin. There was a guy that was just going slowly, but just casually like swerving left and right, and eventually he swerved into a stop sign and just annihilated the stop sign. Kept going, and then me and like another driver were just following him turn for turn, and eventually he just went into a neighborhood, stopped the car, turned it off, and then we got out to go check on him, and he was just passed out asleep. Like no idea that he's like being followed, that he's fucking everything up, just passes out sitting in his car.
So the old house I used to have that I moved out of had a stop sign in the front yard because it was like where 2 streets came. Obviously, it's where 2 streets came together. Stop sign. And one day I got home from work and the stop sign was just like crunched over, like someone had hit it and just like totally flattened it. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I guess I need to tell someone about that. So I called 311. I was like, yeah, there's a stop sign in my front yard and it looks like someone hit it. It's just
What's
like
311?
it's like,
Information, your city,
yeah,
like,
city
comes from the
services.
city.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess someone hit it. Like it's just flat in my front yard. Like, okay, we'll put in a work request and we'll have, someone fix it. Within 2 hours, there was a city work crew at night came out and like took the thing out of the ground, replaced it, put a new stop sign in.
They have a bunch of spare ones in the back. They're just going around fixing stop
I was
signs.
like, what the fuck? Like that's really fast.
That doesn't surprise me though, because that people's safety is at stake with
Yeah.
that stop sign.
Yeah, but it's like
was-
local government bureaucrocy. You're like, I cannot believe.
It was also a slow like residential street. It wasn't.
yeah.
Did I tell you
Crazy.
my amazing new YouTube channel that I'm going to start? I'm going to get a Phantom and I'm going to put it as a dash cam and move to Russia and drive around and just film the most gnarly accidents, but in slow-mo. I think it's a great idea.
What are you going to call it?
Russia, slow-mo cam. Dash cam.
Russia. So
It's Gus. It seemed like there was a period of like
2 months. I don't know if Gavin, you go to the Austin subreddit, where like every other day there'd be a posting of a car that drove through the window of a business, and it just became like a running joke because it just happened like so often, like over and over and over. Like that to me is like one of the biggest fears, because like you're that guy. Like that is gonna get everywhere. You got to stand there as like business owners, police come in, and you're sitting there with your car inside of a freaking Chili's or something.
Yep.
You really don't expect to get hit by a car when you're sat down eating.
No, that's probably the least.
It'd be awful.
You ever gotten hit by a car? Like, just you, not you in a car?
Yeah, I got reversed into once in a car park.
Yeah.
Twatted me, ripped open my trousers.
Is this before or after the car accident?
Have you?
My mom ran over my foot once. Pretty sure she knew about it too.
Did you break it?
No.
Wow, you
She
solid.
say walk it off.
Yeah, no, I was like, I didn't cry or anything. I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, it's just giving my mom shit. And she was fine.
Yeah, I think the woman who ran me over, like, she got stuck on the accelerator because the car was making that, like, in reverse, there's only, like, one reverse gear.
Yeah.
So when you get up to high speed in reverse, it's like, and it was, like, fully doing that. And I didn't even bother looking. I just assumed she had it under control. She whacked me. I flew, like, 20 feet or something.
What? She had that under control.
I was like, she knows what she's doing. She's not going to hit me. Wallop.
She's only flooring it in reverse.
I didn't even look. I was like, it's probably someone just...
I can't be bothered.
Yeah, it was just like slight, like it was like it was a hatchback. It wasn't like a flat backed thing, so I didn't hit my head. I just like went like that. I didn't hit my head on anything. I just like hit all my side and like.
I wish I had slow-mo guys for that. You're just like,
It's like watch Dan get hit in the face with a soccer ball. Watch Gavin get hit in his whole body with a car.
Yeah, and I walked home. It was fine. She
I
was
got-
freaking out though. She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
some asshole backed into or like ran into me at a stoplight in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. He was probably drunk, and we like followed that car for like a really long time, and we were calling the cops. I had somebody calling the cops while I was driving behind him. Eventually, they just told us to let him go. But yeah, why did I tell that story? That wasn't funny at all.
No, it's good though.
I had a crazy thing happen to one of my family
earlier
members.
You only got the deer in the headlights look like that. As you were
Yeah.
telling the story, looking at me, you were like, "Oh shit, this isn't going
Where's he
anywhere."
going?
I would have just lied. I would have been like, "Yeah, someone's throat like slit open and blood went everywhere."
It's crazy, Mardi Gras, huh?
A crazy thing happened to one of my family members about 10, 15 years ago. He was in a old Ford Bronco, because that's like the truck they used when they were going in like a deer lease. And there was like this really big incline, and the truck like broke down. And he had to go under the truck to fix it, but I guess the parking brake gave out or something. And the Bronco went back and like rolled on top of him. And I just wonder if there's a split second where you're like, how did I get here in life to have like a giant truck like on top of my chest right now?
When I was in high school, so I have a younger sister, and her best friend's mother accidentally ran over herself with a minivan.
Oh my God, what?
So she had gotten home, and her driveway was like on an incline. So she had put it in park, was going to get out and run and get something from her house and get back in the car, but it didn't go fully into park. So as she opened the door and got out, she stuck her left leg out, and then as her right leg came off the brake, the minivan started rolling backwards, and she was knocked off of her balance, and then it rolled backwards. And I remember she used to live right by the high school where I grew up, and I was walking home from high school. I was like, oh, weird. There's an ambulance at my sister's best friend's house. Huh. Looks like the van's out in the street. That's weird. I just kept walking.
One of my favorite like things to watch on YouTube for a while was back when ghost riding was like a fad. It's basically you drive your car. I think you put it in cruise control, and then you hop out, and then you dance by your car like an asshole. But people would be doing that, or they'd be like hopping out and like doing something out their window, and the car would just completely get a mind of its own, just like fly off, or the person would fall out of the car. The car would just keep going.
I want to watch it. Oh,
Yeah, ghost ride fails, right? What the fuck is this? Patrick, what are you doing, man?
Patrick's not in there.
Oh, Patrick's not
again
here.
out.
Yeah, here's ghost riding. I hope this car just flies off.
I obviously
without
did it a
them.
few times. Got different angles and everything.
Yeah.
Come on.
Is someone going to
Where's
get
the
hurt?
What's the punchline? Jesus
2
Christ.
minutes
Sorry,
long.
audio listeners.
There's a
Absolute.
cut.
I didn't.
Fuck you, broadcast. What was that? Get your shit together.
They're looking for it.
I swear to God, this is a true story. I was like only a few years old, and my dad, we were going somewhere, and he got in the car, turned it on, and realized he had forgot something. So he goes back inside, and this was a car where the gear shift was on the steering wheel, and apparently you didn't need to hold down the brake in order to shift it. So I like hit the gear shift, and the car just started driving, and it was facing this really long driveway because my grandma lives on a farm, and the car just started moving, and then he came out and just watched it like drive away, and like it slowly just started to veer because no one was steering it over and over and boner until it eventually
over and boner
until eventually like it crashed into a ditch. And then like all the neighbors came like running and found this like little toddler like in the car with a massive minor boner.
You think your dad saw the car and was like, "Well, Brandon's a man now." It's like you're just like slowly driving off into the sunset.
No, I think
grew
he
up
saw
so
it and he was
fast.
like, "Well, I need to get a lawyer because my wife is gonna divorce the shit out of me." I'm okay.
Good. We're glad to hear that.
Yeah,
All right.
You're a
here.
pretty good driver these days.
I'm not bad.
Apart from when you
That was
drove
one
over the
time.
curb
That
the
was one
I
time.
went in a car with you.
Let me read this. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by You Should Have a Website. Who was it? Freddie Wong the other day tweeted this story that I thought was really interesting. It was about an Iranian blogger who had got sentenced to prison, I think in 2008, because he had this blog that was very against the Iranian government.
Yeah, can't do that.
And so he was sentenced to, I think he was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2008. And he said just like one day in 2015, like over the loudspeaker, it was like his name. It was like, "Fortune has smiled on you today. You're being released." And he said he came out, and now looking at the internet the way it exists now with social media, he feels like everything's just watered down and pointless with like Twitter and Facebook. He feels like it's almost like a conspiracy where it's just like there's so much noise. There's no like central way to create your own message. And
Yeah, unless all of those voices are saying the same thing like we saw in Egypt.
Right.
Otherwise, there's never like a singular strong point. Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
he was like kind of decrying the death of the personal website and the personal blog and the rise of social media platforms.
Well, Twitter celebrates it, but you can only post with 144 characters.
140.
140. It's literally like, don't expand, just make a statement. You don't have to prove it or warrant it. Just say whatever. And there are no more blog posts that normal people, everyday people have. People aren't posting on Facebook, that long stuff. That's depressing.
If I were to put www dot and then a bunch of words connected with hyphens and then .com at the end, could I beat the 140 character thing? Because they make an exception.
No, because they'll put a URL shortener on it. They'll do the t.co.
They thought of everything. Drats.
There was a guy in Iran, I think it was maybe 10, 15 years ago. He went to prison because he was a dance teacher. He just danced in a very
Provocative
way. He wasn't a stripper, but yeah, like a very I don't know what you call it, liberal or provocative way.
There was
they don't mess around.
There was an interesting episode of Vice. I forget if it was this most recent season or the one before, where they talked about how in Iran homosexuality is illegal, but gender reassignment is okay.
Really?
And is funded by state-sponsored medical care. So it's like if you feel the need for gender reassignment surgery, the state will pay for your reassignment surgery.
That's so strange.
I saw
it's really weird how they deal with upcoming social issues and the change.
Have you listened to Serial Season 2?
I have not. I'm saving it for my flight down to Australia.
There's only 3 episodes right now.
What's Serial?
Huh?
What's Serial?
It's a podcast. So they just started season 2, which deals with Bo Bergdahl.
Which is a really interesting story.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that story. It's the guy who disappeared, I guess, in Afghanistan.
I think it was in 2009.
Yeah, he basically, who knows, allegedly walked away from his post and then was captured by the Taliban and then held prisoner for several years before his release was negotiated. And there's speculation that he went AWOL and abandoned his post, as opposed to just being kidnapped from the post. And I think this season explores that.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's actually like one episode, you are completely following this group, and you're like, yeah, like that guy was fucking wrong. And then the next episode, they completely flip it, and they're like, holy shit, I feel so bad for that guy. So Serial's really cool and tells awesome stories and stuff, but Serial season 1, the way that it ended, it didn't have like a gratifying ending. So like, did you watch Serial season, or did you read or listen to Serial season 1 with I can't remember what his name is. Anad or something.
I'm saving that for the flight as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not gotten into that.
Sorry, spoiler alert. It doesn't end like cool.
I have watched. Have you watched Making a Murderer?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
People are going fucking wild for that. So
Have you seen it, Gavin?
No, everyone's talking about it. What is it? Like, is it a documentary?
Hey, Gavin, you want to go watch it together? We can watch it.
It's a 10-part
Matrix season
documentary that's on Netflix. Each episode's about an hour long. It's about a guy who was convicted of rape in 1985 and then spent 18 years in prison before DNA technology could prove. This is all the first episode. This is the setup. Before DNA could prove that he did not commit the rape.
That's the worst spoiler of this podcast.
I didn't mean to, right?
So they proved he did not commit the rape, so he was released from prison.
Begrudgingly by the prosecution.
After he was released, he then turned around and filed a lawsuit against the people who put him in prison, and then he got accused of a murder, put back in prison, and the people he was suing were in charge of the investigation of his murder.
Yeah, it's like they found incriminating evidence after, like, his house was searched like so many times, and all of a sudden these county like detectives went in and they were like, hey guys, I found this like piece of evidence on the ground. Did anybody see this?
Like a plant.
Yeah, like after 4 days of searching.
Yeah, so like they
so
started.
He didn't do any of it?
Well, it's unknown. So like it's a 10-part documentary. It's really long, but it still doesn't present all of the evidence if you listen to everybody.
I think people are missing the point.
I
feel like people are missing the point because there's all these, like sign this petition to release these guys from prison. And I don't know necessarily if you watch that and you say these people are definitely guilty, but you do say, this is fucked up. This is not how justice should work.
Right.
This is not, like, it makes Law and Order seem like fucking
was
dumb.
mismanaged.
Yeah.
The people he was suing should not have been the people investigating this potential crime.
Even
there's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, I mean, even the way that the prosecution was representing and spinning certain evidence, or, I think one of the big things you see is they put on this big dramatic show about what evidence they found. So basically to the public, and a lot of that stuff didn't get in the trial, but every juror that comes in it knows about it already. So it's the idea of it's impossible to have a fair trial. So you watch that and you're just like, this is not right. This is not how it should be.
Well, me, Josh,
but I don't know who did it.
Me, Josh, Aaron, and Chris were having lunch today talking about murder stuff. We weren't with Brandon because Brandon doesn't eat lunch like a human being.
No one invited me.
So I did. So we were talking about how this is like a new fad, kind of like, these cold cases, like Anod's or whatever his name is, like Serial, and then Jinx, and then to make murder.
The Jinx is so good.
Yeah,
so
but
good.
like there should be some concern because I feel like now people are like catching on to this, and like the filmmakers are going to be like, oh yeah, let's dig up more cases, and they might not necessarily be in the right. But if it's like a better story, then they'll like lead the investigation or whatever, like one way. So it's actually kind of weird to think about.
Well, I think people who are accused of at least major crimes, like they're going to just start recording everything. Like they're going to have their family record what's going on with iPhones. Because, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen all of the news and all of the, there's over 100,000, I think, signatures on a general petition to release the guy from the documentary for making a murderer. But I feel like everybody's just going to do it. Like maybe if I chronicle what I'm going through, it'll help me down the line.
Well, listening to Serial has made me think like I'll never commit a murder, but there is a small chance,
Wink.
But there is a small chance that I could be framed for a murder. I'm not going to commit a murder. Don't do that.
I said I'll do it.
I didn't do it. So there's a small chance that I could get framed. Stop that, Gus. That I could get framed for murder. And to prevent that, I feel like now I have to. God damn it, Gus! I feel like I need to make alibis or like make sure that my location.
That sounds so dodgy. There's that. There's that app, isn't there?
Creating alibis.
There's like an app that is an alibi.
Really?
at all times, and you can use this app to prove some crap where you were.
what if the
only
prosecution-
someone who's gonna
Is
commit?
it your phone always an alibi? It's
Yeah.
got like tracking, like it knows where
tracking.
you are. You'd be like, oh no, pull my phone record.
What if the prosecution knows you have the app? They're like, let's just see that app. You're like, oh, nice. It's not important. I don't want to.
But this is like
show it.
This
makes
is the
me-
ultimate alibi, right?
It
don't
makes
think it
me
just
think
tracks
of
you, though, in real
everything, and I
time.
want to be safe.
Yeah, it does. Like there's like recent locations. Like you can look up your most common places that you go.
Yeah, I think it pings satellites every so often. Keeps a little log.
Sorry,
I've
we kind of
also-
overtalked you there, Blaine. Sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. I'll see
Blaine,
you later tonight.
continue to incriminate yourself in your future trial.
So here's my thing. It's like with any illegal activity, I feel like you have to be the kind of person who flips a switch in their head and thinks, yeah, I'm going to break the law. I'm going to do illegal stuff now. But like, I don't have that in me. Like, I'm never, ever going to break the law in my entire life. And I know that as a fact from now. And then we'll cut to me in jail at some point, do a hard cut. But I'm pretty sure I never will, because it's going to have to be like a conscious decision to be like,
Flick.
now I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine doing it. It's like pre-built in me to not be a criminal.
Well,
Is it in you?
I could be a criminal. Sure.
what would you do?
I think
Murder.
God damn.
I think
I'll do it. I'll kill someone.
Brandon, what about
do
you?
it now.
This is the
I'll
worst.
tell everybody
I
Blaine
should
did
not
it.
be joking about this.
No,
I should
they're
not be
gonna
saying
use this.
this. It's on camera.
It's Exhibit A. What's that?
But it's like
What crime?
people who murder other people. I just can't relate to it anyway.
No,
It's
but,
like
like, I
you've
think-
actually ended someone's life.
Isn't-
you moron,
Yeah.
idiot?
I mean, people have genuine like chemical differences, you know,
Yeah.
in their brains, and some people are just more likely to be aggressive or more likely to get
What is
anger.
that in someone?
I
What
think it's
chemical
just-
is that?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's like you just assume it's your decision making, but it might not necessarily be it. Like somebody who's in your exact same situation, who maybe grew up the same way, but their brain works a little bit differently, might punch somebody.
Right. So you talk about, or you always hear about like crimes of passion. Like something
Yeah.
happened and someone's so angry they kill someone or hurt someone. And it makes me think about like how sometimes you see there's certain people who when they get angry they'll like punch something or they'll break something. Like that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because in my mind I'm like, well, if you're so angry and you break something, like then you have to clean it. It's like you're breaking your own thing, you're wasting your own money, and then you're taking your own time to clean it. But it's like the same kind of person who would do that, like elevated, like it's an elevated thing. It's like you then go on and punch someone instead of like something.
Yeah, like I mean, when people punch the cops or something, like, you know, some things are getting kind of crazy. A lot of times it's just, or a lot of times when you find somebody who's guilty of assault or convicted for assault, they have previous records of assault. They're just more inclined for whatever reason to be angry and aggressive. Like, wasn't it the shooter in Austin back in the 60s? He got on top of the University of Texas Tower. I think he had said in his letter, like, look in my brain, because
Yeah.
I don't understand why I have to, like, you know, do this. But there's something telling me I do. And I think they found some kind of growth. I don't know if it
he
was
had
a tumor
he had a
that was
abnormality.
putting pressure on part of his brain that could affect, like, his level of aggression. So I think it's just like sometimes it's stuff that's out of your control.
The guy that had two penises,
Go on.
were they both his or was one his brother's?
Oh. I think
Wow, I feel like we should have that image of like that stick drawing with the guy holding the cup of coffee with his foot. We're like, you know what I'm talking about?
what if it was his brother?
No,
Like the penis
that had to have been
itself.
his. You can't like you either. How do I say it? You're either two distinct. He wouldn't just have the dick and nothing else.
Well, sometimes
what
like
if the
people
parents-
get an extra arm and it's like the twin got stuck in him, didn't really form, but his arm came out.
Well,
But what would it be the dick?
what if the
It might
parents?
happen. Like, why would someone just have two dicks?
Well, what if the parents, like, there were other, like, appendages, but what if the parents said, all right, get rid of everything, keep the second penis? Like the dad said, like, no, I'm not going to deprive my son.
I would want to know which one was mine and which one was.
Well, one
my
worked better.
dead twin.
One worked better
The
than the
bigger
other.
one is yours. Your twin was like, whoop.
One worked better than the other.
It did?
Yeah.
What did
He did like an AMA on it, didn't he?
Yeah, it was on Reddit. Yeah.
While we're on the subject of like weird murdery stuff, have we ever talked about Call to the Void on the podcast?
I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, so basically, and I think there's a name for it in French. I can't remember what it's called. It's called, like, it translates into English, Call to the Void. So say, you know, you're on a dock or something like that, and then you see a person fishing, and then there's this little voice inside your head that says, push that person over the dock. That's the call to the void. Every now and then you'll have these like little weird, like, you know, I could stand up in the middle of this meeting and start cussing out Gus in front of everybody. Like, did you guys ever experience that? Like those little things where it's
I
like...
feel like I used to get that as a kid, but I
Yeah.
don't really think those thoughts anymore.
It was
Yeah.
as a kid in church, because it's like everything you could possibly say is amplified by a million.
Yeah.
So at my old job, you talked about like having a meeting or a conference room or something. At my old job, I hated that place, and it was a terrible company, and I wanted to get fired. So sometimes when there were conference calls and there'd be like a big meeting and we'd all be on the phone, I would just get up and lay down on the table and take a nap.
Like in the room with other people?
Yeah, there'd be like
So-
a room full of people on a conference call. I'd be like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. And I would just lay down on the table
that's
and
you.
take a nap.
That's you like answering to the call of void. You're doing that thing that your brain is like, that's crazy.
Why
I'd
didn't
never
you
do
just
that.
quit?
Because I wanted severance.
But
And they just kept promoting you?
Yeah, they did actually.
wow.
Was that the place you built like a little fort at some point?
Yeah, that was it. So that's the... yeah, that's the place I built a fort. Again, I was just trying
Blaine.
to get out of there.
Hey,
Would you be into a girl who had 2 vaginas? Or would that weird you out too much?
Does she have everything else?
where's the placement? What do they look like?
Just
Just
one-
do I need lube?
One's above the other one.
Okay.
But there's other things there too.
Huh.
Will the other
Do they
thing get
do they
moved
connect,
up?
or is it just like, is it like,
What's the other thing?
Does that
Will there
matter?
be two like the
is it 2 separate tubes, or is it like,
Yeah. It's 2 complete vagina fascias.
okay?
So
Are
it'd
they
be
like
2
smaller because it's like,
Nah. One
Two-
of them's just higher up.
two labian.
Labian?
2 labians.
do I have
And
that
then
much-
Is that the plural of labia?
the door knocker, right? 2 of those.
does she have 2 clits?
That's what I was. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Why didn't you just say that instead of door
I
knocker?
feel weird.
Gavin, yes. That would
Feel
be cool.
weird so you said
Yes.
fucking door knocker?
Yeah, no, that everybody knows. It's like you're like, hey, I'm here. It's like
That's even worse. What the hell
no,
is
it's
wrong
not.
with
It's
you?
it doesn't have like it's not like that hard edge that like
I would,
It's
yeah.
way better.
'Cause-
I'm embarrassed to be sitting here with you guys. Gavin, you're so red. I don't know if I've ever seen you that red in my life.
Oh, I just like I start conversations and Brandon makes it so worth it every time.
You say that, but it'll come to your head. You'll think of that.
So,
door knocker? I don't
according-
think I will.
According to who is this? I don't know how to say this Twitter handle. Ian Niken, the guy who had 2 penises, said in his AMA he did not absorb a twin.
Interesting. They were both his.
So
What if-
Blaine, what was the answer to Gavin's
Absolutely.
question?
Yeah.
Really?
like-
Do I need to go into why?
It's like a
Yeah.
built-in 3-way.
It's a little vulgar.
Why?
So,
Oh no, we don't do vulgar on this podcast. You
so
gotta talk
imagine
about door knockers.
like you have twice the opportunity, or you have the ability to make her orgasm twice as much, essentially, because there's more tools.
But isn't
to
that like
work
going to
with.
the teacher and asking for twice as much homework? You're like,
To maybe to you, but I take pride in that kind of thing. You know, it's like, you're able to.
stuff to do.
I think we approach sex differently, Brandon.
I guess I can tell you the biggest debate from this podcast with fans is going to be the use of lube.
Just holding my-
it's already on Twitter.
holding
all
my
over Twitter.
podcast award here. It's an award-winning podcast.
Did we ever talk about
Gavin
how
was a yes or sorry. Gavin was a yes or no to your own question.
Well, I asked the question, so I don't have to answer it.
Oh, bullshit!
by law.
Bullshit!
By law.
Honestly, I'd probably be a bit weirded out by it.
Yeah, I agree.
So after I got pranked with the Star Wars thing, this was
You're a
complete.
champ about that.
Thank you. We had the end of the year meeting, and then we did something which, as far as I know, is the first time we've done it in the company, where we handed out awards for people in the different departments. This is not me trying to gloat about getting the award, but for live action, I got the Cockbite of the Year award. So I'm packing up all my stuff for the day. I'm going home for break, and I sit it on the passenger side of my Jeep. And as soon as I get home, I open up the car door, and it just slides out and it just immediately shatters on the ground. And I posted like a before and after picture of this shattered trophy. I was so fucking mad. Luckily, you guys had an extra
So
one.
you just rested on the seat like a small child?
Yeah, I almost buckled it in, but like.
No, that would have been smart.
Oh, well, it's not that big. But anyways, people were thinking like, and even like coworkers of mine, they're like, did you do that on purpose because you were like really mad about the Star Wars thing? I was like, no, like that would have been the most dramatic thing ever. So people were thinking that I shattered it on purpose because I was so mad. But I'm not mad about the Star Wars thing. I think it actually...
It was really funny.
It went in my favor. Like, you know, like I got a fucking PlayStation 4 from EA. Yeah.
Wow, that thing really broke.
Yeah. But no, it was a good prank. I can appreciate it.
What was weird to me is a lot of the comments were like, oh, obviously there's a promo thing sponsored by Lucasfilm or Disney or something.
Fucking I wish.
It's like,
Jesus.
Yeah.
At what point
was not.
Did you know it was fake?
It was around the opening crawl.
I kept saying.
Well, yeah, it was like there was just,
like, it needs to be negative 48 degrees.
But you have to imagine though, I'm in this theater. I'm fully think like up until this point, the prank was perfect. I was like, I am seeing Star Wars. This is amazing. I was so overcome with emotion. If you watch that video hard enough, you can see tears building up in my eyes. I was so fucking excited. And I could see the opening crawl and it was just a little off, and I was like, no, you're crazy. But like the opening crawl was just a little bit shorter than what I remember, they normally are.
The speed was too fast.
The speed, I didn't actually notice the speed, but it was the wording and just little things like here and there. And then the biggest giveaway was like at the end of it, they didn't do, it's either a tilt down or a tilt up to like a planet or a spaceship. And they panned, and it was already on a planet, and it was like, something is amiss.
Well, to be fair, though, it pans to Chris.
It pans to the back of a robed person, but it looked like shit. I don't know what they shot it on. It was probably the 1D. And then it shows Chris, and I was like, fuck. Like, it didn't actually register immediately, but I was like, fuck. Like, I don't know. That's not... This is something's wrong.
I think that the crawl for episode 7 ended up being fairly short anyway.
Well, no, it was actually similar because it like mentioned Luke Skywalker. And I remember the first time I saw the movie on opening night, I was sitting there, I was like, oh fuck, is this happening again? I started freaking out. I couldn't enjoy the first like 25 seconds of the actual Star Wars 7 because I was like, I'm pranked again.
See, what I thought we were going to do is, have like the Lucas thing in the beginning, 20th Century Fox, and then, black screen, and then
20th Century Fox wouldn't have been a thing.
It was not.
No.
Oh, because they're not the distributor anymore?
Right. You guys got Disney, which they actually didn't show that, but whatever.
Yeah. I thought it was...
It looked low res, too. I kind of noticed that.
So, basically, it's like, the music starts, and then Star Wars text, and then as soon as we see, like, the episode number, it, like, just does a hard cut to your, like, audition video. Instead of, like...
The way that they did it, and then I fucking fed it to them.
No, like, the way it played out, I think they're well.
Yeah, it did, and it didn't when I was there. But like I fucking spoon fed them that because I was like, I need to film these auditions. I don't want to mess with the background too much because that's lighting and stuff. I'll just do it on the green screen, and they use that against me because they have this like perfect template to use for a hologram. I ended up screwing myself
in the funniest way possible.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we did it a month before the movie came out?
I wouldn't have believed it. I'm not that stupid. A day before, one of my friends. I'm not gonna say her name. Got an actual screening to Star Wars.
Your girlfriend?
Got an actual screening to the movie. And she was gonna go the day after I was supposed to go when I thought I was going. So I actually believed. I was like, yeah, this is totally happening. Like it's for like if it had been any time before then, I was like, there's no.
What did you think of the real movie?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, it was good. I told Gus I was gonna try not to talk about Star Wars because we did a spoiler cast.
No, I told him to totally.
But how crazy must it have been to been on the set when Harrison Ford and Chewie were on that set? It must have been mental to be like, this is happening right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be pretty unbelievable. My goal, like my greatest life goal, is to somehow be involved with a future Star Wars movie.
What, in it? Or like work on it?
I would. This is ridiculous.
This is Blaine fishing.
I would. No.
Cast it out there.
Ultimately, I would like the direct one, but I don't know if that's ever gonna happen because that's like those guys are crazy. But like,
let's start a petition. Let's get the president to put Blaine in the next Star Wars.
Even if it was like a pilot or a stormtrooper or whatever, just to be in Star Wars somehow or involved with it.
I wanted to do that with Bond. I wanted to work on a James Bond movie.
Daniel Craig was in Star Wars 7.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was the guy that let. Spoilers.
Yeah, he was in it.
I know.
All right. Well, it's time to wrap up.
Oh.
So I want to thank everyone for watching. We're going to go ahead and cut like half of this podcast out. So it's going to end up being really short.
Oh, you mean like the part when I spoiled the thing in Game of Thrones?
Right. So thanks for watching, everyone.
It's Rooster Teeth podcast, bitch, motherfucker, what you know? Talking facts so hard it's like a science show. We got Barbara, Bunny, Gavin, and Gus. Get up and listen while you're riding the bus. You can see Brian and Chris, or Matt Hollum if you like. You won't be seeing Jack since he was eating to the mic. It seems about time to wrap up if Gus says. Hope you've all enjoyed it in more than one way. We'll see you next week, and if you need to ask why, just remember you always get Gavin zipping up his fly on.
Hey everybody, I'm very happy to say that our movie Laser Team is headed to theaters this January. So head over to laserteamthemovie.com to see if it's playing in your city. If it is, buy a ticket. And if it's not, we've given you the ability to set up a screening in your town through a partnership with Tug. For more details on that, go to laserteamthemovie.com. Thanks, gorgeous.